So I know I've made about 100 videos on this, but people still, I think, don't grasp it. So I wanted to simplify it like as simply as I could and explain this in just a few minutes. Should I hold crypto? Bitcoin, let's say, and we all know Bitcoin's rallying. We've all known this. Literally did a video in August regarding the elections and what happened shortly after elections. Historically, we could see 250K Bitcoin. I zero doubt that. And so some people see that and say, well, why would I ever want to cash flow? And my answer is always like, well, why wouldn't you? I see, and unless you are extremely wealthy and you're putting in hundreds, if not millions of dollars into HODL positions, because that can actually make a dent in your, let's say net worth or your runway or your escape velocity or, true financial freedom. But if you don't have hundreds, if not millions of dollars, what's the point of putting a couple grand? Okay, it doubled. Okay, it tripled over a year or two. It's like, okay, like great, but it's not changing your life. And it doesn't have to be either or. I just want to bring us back to like a really good example of this. You can look at YouTube videos. I haven't added any. This was worth around $18,000 not long ago. At one point, it was worth $4,000. Now it's worth 30. And guess what? That $4,000 was house money. Those were yields from way back in the day when we did Turbos and a little bit of CDIS on the SUI USDC position, which was doing around 400%. Let me know in the comments if you're an OG and you remember that. We shared in the UIG. We were all in on it. Made a bunch of free SUI, kept stacking SUI. So we yield farmed the SUI USDC pair. So that was cash flow. So we're looking at this chart here. So in this example, we were printing USDC and SUI. So in this instance, we were printing USDC and SUI. Excuse the grade 2 writing. Then, if you remember, SUI dumped. It went from like well over $2 to I think at one point it was like 40 cents. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. We track a lot of coins and tokens, but it was around 40 cents. Then we were able to take all the profits we made from that yield farm, from that pool, and rebuy SUI, and we bought about $4,000 worth. By then, we already extracted our initial profits. All of this was house money, bought $4,000 worth of SUI, and then held it single-sided from, $4,000 to now there's $19,000 in here. I have a feeling that SUI is not done yet. And of course, we're back to yield farming, especially as SUI's kind of been hanging out. We've been yield farming the SUI USDC pair again over on basically CDIS. I am playing with AlphaFi, but either you use CDIS or Turbos, which is doing 400% on SUI USDC. That's just an example. And SUI is a mid cap. SUI appreciated a lot. Bitcoin, I see Bitcoin as a store of value. So is it better to hold or is it better to cash flow? To me, I'm like, it's both. Would you ever just buy a house? Imagine this. Imagine your friend came up to you and was like, hey, I just bought a rental property. I just invested X amount of dollars. I got this rental property. And you're like, awesome. What are you getting for rent? And they were like, nothing. I'm just holding it for future appreciation. You'd be like, okay, cool. Like that kind of makes sense, but you're missing out on such a huge opportunity. And I think that's the gap we filled with CryptoLabs and with the Underdog Investor Group because no one was talking about this. They were either degenning, trying to make cash flow, or they were buying and holding. But I just didn't see how, from an investor standpoint, I'm like, that's just speculation. We don't know what the price of Bitcoin is going to be tomorrow. We found ways and we developed strategies on where we could cash flow that crypto. So if we had a client or if you were holding a ton of crypto, you could store it, take a loan against it, and then cash flow whatever you borrowed against your Bitcoin and maintain healthy LTVs. Or for someone who maybe has less capital and hasn't held crypto yet, we did the opposite. We'll cash flow what you have. So, if you have 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or 50 or 100 or $250,000 to invest, let's create cash flow from that, consistent monthly returns, and then let's take that and let's build your bull run bags. So when this happens, your bags are pumping. Awesome. You're taking profit. Awesome. It's ultimately free money. Awesome. So you're getting yield on yield. You're maximizing your returns. And people have been asking, is it too late? I'm like, it's just, as long as you're cash flowing, it's never too late. I recommend creating cash flow from your DeFi portfolio, buying Bitcoin with it, and mastering this skill set because markets are going to do what markets do. Everything that goes up will go down. And during the next bear market, hopefully we can wake people up. And I actually found last bear market extremely frustrating because we were starting this YouTube channel. We were trying to tell people about it. And I mean, a lot of people laughed and were like, you're an idiot. Crypto is dead or it's just the bear market. Like so many people lost interest. Yet our community or people in our world were creating cash flow. They were building bull run bags, $5,000, $20,000 worth, $50,000 bull run bags. Some of our members, some of our clients were able to build $100,000 plus bull run bags. And they have a high probability of exiting with $1 million. And that was because of the bear market. Now you can still make money now. You can still cash flow. And of course, it's probably easier than ever to make money, which is great. But will you make 20x, 30x, 40x on your bags right now? Probably not. Hence why cash flow is king. Take that cash flow, build a bull run bag, master the skill set. Then when this cycle ends, which I think we have a really awesome 2025, by the way, but once this cycle ends, you will master the skill set. You will create cash flow during the bear market. You're going to take your fees. You're going to build a bull run bag. You're going to be patient for a couple years, which most people can't even fathom being patient for a couple years because the space is full of gamblers and degens and it pisses me off. But for those who can see past that, those who are thinking 3, 4, 5 years out minimum, you're building when no one's excited, when no one's talking about it, when everyone's calling it a scam. And then when this happens, bam, bam, bam. I had someone message me, they made more last week during this pump than they did working 2 years at their job. In 1 week, in 1 week, they bought 2 years of their time back. And that, to me, the reason we do what we do is for that. So we can get our time back and then invest that time in things that are actually important to us. And we don't feel like we have to do stuff that we don't necessarily want to do that aren't aligned with us, that don't fulfill us. AKA, a lot of people hate their job. It's like that person can quit if they want. They just bought themselves 2 years to create a new business or do something that's more aligned with them. So that's our MO over at CryptoLabs. And I really hope this simple explanation, which I will repeat till I'm blue in the face because people still don't get it. Let me know if you get it. This is life-changing. And you can take this and think of every other investment in the world. My thesis has always been, does this cash flow? Because I can't predict the markets, but as long as I'm making daily cash flow, I can keep dollar cost averaging into the markets no matter what they're doing. Eventually, and I can't predict when, but eventually, markets will rally and I'll be deep, deep, deep into profits. And it's yield on yield at that point, meaning I can do a lot more with less. Really hope this lands. Let me know in the comments if it does. If this does, and you're like, you feel like you want more people to know about this too, share this video, share this channel. This channel does not grow without your support. We're committed to this over the long run. We already have a 10-year vision, 10-year plan for CryptoLabs, the incubators, and what we're creating within CryptoLabs, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. Like, I wish people could just think that way. They would be so much better off, not just financially, but even physically. Think about that. It's like those who can exercise and take care of themselves every day and do the more difficult thing up front get the long-term benefits. But very few do it. Just look at the culture. And I hope this YouTube channel and these videos are just a bit of reason, a bit of light in a very gambly, dark kind of get rich overnight culture. And I'm just so sick of it. And I need more people thinking this way. So if this video helped you, share it in a Telegram community or a WhatsApp or just a group you're a part of, or maybe just an individual share this video, share this YouTube channel with them. With that said, I'm going to leave some more videos on the four corners of my screen. Do check them out. With that said, much love, cheering for you. Peace.